everyone, this is k.r.morrighan and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my kind of initial thoughts on and impressions of Fence by C.S. Pacat. So this is basically being published in 5 volumes. I have the first one here. This came out a while ago. It came out like 2 weeks ago, but I was away for Thanksgiving and then I came back and I was immediately like really sick for a while, so I'm just now getting to doing a review of it, but I figured better late than never. So there are going to be 4 others, but as you can see, this one is short. So I'm hoping that the 5 that they've kind of talked about are just initial, and then there's going to be a whole kind of other arc and more after that. But if not, I guess something is better than nothing. So my initial thoughts about this are, well, before I do that, first of all, this is by C.S. Pacat. She did the writing, Joanna the Mad did the illustrating, and Joanna La Fuente did the coloring. C.S. Pacat is mostly known for the Captive Prince trilogy. If you haven't read that, I did a review of that, which I will link in the description. I would highly recommend that. It's fantastic. Captive Prince is, in my opinion, like one of the kind of, at least right now, like most accessible and most popular gay romances. I work at a bookstore and it's the only one we actually carry. All the rest are straight romance. So it's a fairly large bookstore, but it is in a conservative area. So she's really become like a name in the industry of gay romance, and expanding out to this graphic novel is like awesome. The biggest thing about that is Captive Prince has a lot of trigger warnings and kind of like content issues. I mean, obviously it's erotica, it's adult, but other than that, there are some issues on the characters' backstories that have prevented people who would have enjoyed it from being able to read it just because it might be triggering for them. So I'm really excited that this is coming out, because my knowledge is that this is not going to have the same type of like trigger warnings. Like, I don't know how adult this is going to get, but regardless, like the content itself is all going to be more accessible for all readers. So people who have wanted to enjoy C.S. Pacat's work before now have like another avenue to explore that. So that's really exciting. In terms of the novel itself, art is totally awesome in here. I really loved how the fencing scenes themselves were illustrated. That was something I don't necessarily quite worried about going into it, but I know that fencing is very high-paced, fast-paced, and very complicated. So, I mean, like, I've watched fencing, like Olympic fencing. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've watched the Olympic fencing, and it's over in like a second. It is so fast. So I was worried. I was like, how the heck are you gonna bring that across in like stilled images? But they really did a good job, and it looks gorgeous. And I know C.S. Pacat is a fencer, so I'm sure that that really enabled them to create this really realistic depiction of the sport. The characters so far haven't really gotten a lot of development. The 2 main characters are Nicholas Cox and Seiji Katayama. Nicholas Cox is, I think he's an American, and he's not really had the advantages that other people in the sport have had, so he's had to really like scrape and scrounge and work for everything he's ever gotten, including like his coach and his equipment and just all the opportunities that came to the others a little bit more easily. He's really had to work for it. So I thought that was a cool perspective character to have. And then on the other hand, we have Seiji, who is like this renowned, like super famous young fencer. So right away we have this kind of like rivalry, and if you're into the tsundere type romance, this is definitely going to hit it off for you. It's really awesome. I have heard people complain that Fence is just Yuri on Ice with fencing, and that breaks my heart, because first of all, like, who doesn't want more gay sports stories? Like, please just give us more of them, please. But Yuri on Ice is so different. Everything about it is different. The characters are different. The type of setting is different. This is like a totally different sport, but it's also the like environment they're in and the age they are and like where they are competitively is totally different. But Yuri on Ice is really sweet and heartwarming right away, and this is not. I think that will be like the biggest thing that sets them apart. Kind of right away we're into Nick's backstory about the things he hasn't had and how he really needs to prove himself, and it's harder for him than anyone else, and we're into that right away, and it gives it this kind of like somber, very serious beginning. Not that it's not enjoyable and like it's fun in its own way, but it's C.S. Pacat. She is a very like serious writer. She does not shy away from issues, as we saw in Captive Prince. So I knew this was going to be like an emotional story, so I wasn't shocked when I opened it up and it was a little more serious. So those are kind of some really quick initial impressions I guess I had. The only complaint I have is that it's so short, and I'm worried that in 5 volumes, I don't really know how far we're going to get in terms of development. Yeah. So but then again, I don't know what's going to come after that. So it's probably going to end up being like totally awesome and amazing, and I won't have anything to complain about. So I'm not really worried. Alright, that was kind of a whirlwind of ideas, but I wanted to just kind of get them all out there. I highly, highly recommend that you get this. You can buy individual copies. This is $3.99, or you can get them from Boombox Studios. I got the first 5 for $13. They might have changed the price because originally it was supposed to be 4, and then it upgraded to 5. So if you ordered it when it was 4, you got the same price. But if you buy them now when it's going to be 5, you might have to pay a little bit more. I'm not sure. But really good stuff. Highly recommend it. And if anybody says it's a Yuri on Ice ripoff, we can fight. Like, I will fight you. Alright. Keep reading and keep loving. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff. If you look down below in the description, I have links to my writing, and you can purchase services from me like editing, ghostwriting. I make custom videos, anything like that. So you're going to check all that out below. Alright, bye!